Welcome to Block of the Month. It's October and we only have 1 month left that we're going to be doing blocks. So next month we'll do 2 blocks. So we're getting to the end, so that'll be fun. So you can put your quilt together. So this is the block that we're going to have this month. This is the the purple colors. This is the Montague, and I'm going to be working on the bright. So it's these colors right here. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make this square. So the first thing, you'll be able to tell which fabric is which by the size that it is. The A fabric is 5 by width of fabric. The B fabric is 5 inches by 22, and the C fabric is 6.5 by 22. So you'll be able to know with your packet which one you're going to get. So the first thing we're going to do is to cut these. You'll see the instructions. It says of the A, cut 4 4¼ inch squares and 1 3¼ by 20 inch strip. So let me just show you what I did on that. I took this and cut, this is doubled, so I cut my 4 4¼ inch squares right there. Then I just measured 3¼ inches and cut the rest of that strip. So you'll have enough to do that. And then on B, you just cut 4 4¼ inch squares. And on C, you do the 4 by 5 inch rectangles. And what I did on this, it's 6.5 inches. So you can just do your rectangles this way, and then you'll have enough to do the 2.5 inch by 22 inch strip there, or 2.25. Excuse me. Do the 2¼ inch strip first, then cut the other squares, rectangles out of there. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. So to start off, we're going to make half square triangles. So I'm going to take my 2 squares that are 4¼ inch. I've already cut these, but let me just show you. We've done this a lot, and so I know you know how to do it. We're just going to put the 2 squares right sides together, draw a line down the middle of it, then you're going to sew 1/4 inch on each side, cut it, open it up, and there's your half square triangle. You're going to have 8 of these, and after you get them ready, you're going to trim them down to 3.5 inches. So you'll have 8 that look like this when they're all trimmed down. Okay, and those are all the same. So that's an easy one to do. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use the cat cradle ruler, cat's cradle ruler. And to do this, we're going to take our 2 strips of fabric that we've sewn together. So this is the 3¼ inch one on the top. Remember, it's 20 inches long. And then the 2¼ inch. I'm going to sew those together and iron it so that the seam goes towards the biggest piece of fabric. So it goes towards the 3¼ inch there. Then I'm going to cut them into, here's what it looks like before it was cut. Then I'm going to cut them in to 2¼ inch strips. And to do that, I'm just going to I'm using my favorite ruler, my 6.5 by 12.5. And I'm just going to even up the side, and then I'll cut my 2.5 inches. I use this little, make a line go right at the seam so I can square it up a little better. Remember, if you feel like you get to the end, get part of the way through, and you don't feel like the edge you're measuring from is square, square it off again, and then start over, or start with the remaining ones that you have. Okay, we've done that before too, so hopefully this is all just review for you. Now what we're going to do is take these and put the square on each side. We're going to right sides together, so right down the edge 1/4 inch, and then we're going to open it up, and when we do that, Let me find the one that I have here. When we do that, you're going to trim or just clip right there, but don't clip through your seam. See how I've left that by my seam? And then when I iron it and open it up so that you have both the squares there. Okay? Now I'm going to take my cat cradle, I want to call it cats in the cradle. But I'm going to take that ruler, and if you look on here, it shows you to place on seam line right there. So that's what I'm going to do. That's where I've sewn right there, my seam line. And then I'm going to take my marking pen and I'm just going to mark along there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Match the seam line, take my pen and mark along there. All right. Now I'm going to take my 4 by 5 inch squares that I have cut out, put them right sides together, so they're like this. Then I'm going to sew on each line that I've made right here. Okay, after I get that done, remember when you come here, you want to sew close to that intersection there so that you have a good point and you don't cut off your point. So just make sure you have that. Once you get it sewn together like that, you're going to cut it in half. Okay, that's the next square here. And you're going to open it up, and this is what it's going to look like. All right, now we need to trim it down. So to do that, I'm going to take my ruler again, and this says trim to size, and I'm going to put it on the 3-inch size. Now the reason I put it on the 3-inch, if you look on the side, it says a 1/4 inch seam allowance. That means that it's allowing for that. The 3-inch is going to be the finished size. So I've matched it right here on my 3-inch. And I've matched it right there and on the line, okay? So I'm going to trim that. And when I come back through, I'm going to turn it around. This time I don't have that square to match, but I am going to put the 3-inch line right there on my seam. Make sure this intersects at the point, and then I'm going to trim this other side. Easy peasy. All right. So you're going to end up that you will have, I can't remember how many of those you have, but you have a bunch of them. So then we'll have, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. You'll have 8 of them. So then you're just going to match everything together and put it together. So if you look at the pattern, you'll be able to do that. We'll have 2 like that, and I don't have my others sewn. But as you go through it, let me do the bottom one. It's going to be that, then this one, and this one. And so when you get it together here, you can see it better on this one. There's your 8 cat's cradle ones, and here's your half square triangles. So you'll just follow the pattern to be able to get that put together. Then just sew it up and it's going to look beautiful. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you is you can pick up your blocks from 4 to 6 tomorrow, Friday. And if you need to come into this, or you'll have to come into the store to get it, you need to wear a mask. If you can't come in the store, give us a call and we can run it out to you or help you in any way we can. Hopefully you're all doing good and feeling great. I sure miss y'all. Have a good month. Thanks.